June. Motion to approve. Motion for Billy, second from Jill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes from June are approved. Now the minutes from July's meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion for Billy to approve,
I'll second.
second from Gia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes from July are approved. We proceed on to the business part of the meeting.
Yes, first item on the agenda is BAR 24-27. That's 120 East Earl Street. It's in the Downtown Historic District, and it's known as the old Orgray Drugstore building. And y'all are very familiar with this property because several items have come to you over the past couple of years as they've been renovating the building. And tonight, what we're bringing before you is a request to add a sign to the existing projecting sign on the property. We can move forward a couple of slides here. You're right there, it's perfect, thank you. But the application's for an addition to the existing projecting sign. You approved the projecting sign that you see there in February for business inside the building. There's another space inside the building. They would wish to have advertising as well. And the shape of the sign is to match that of the existing sign and the color scheme as well. You can see in the next photograph, this is what's being requested. Scout's Donuts is looking to occupy the site, and their proposed sign is a total square footage of 2.64 square feet. The run-in sign is 3.96 square feet, so when combining those totals, you have 6.59 square feet, which certainly falls within our sign standards in our zoning regulations. And when you do look at signs, you focus on the standards set forth in Chapter 8, and it says to design a sign to be in balance with the overall character of the property, and also appropriate signs include freestanding, flush-mounted, window, projecting, hanging, awning, and directory signs. So obviously this is a projecting sign, so it can be considered. You can also see in your packet there's a sign bracket that's shown, black sign bracket, that's already existing, as you can see.
Yeah, we see that.
And then on the last slide for this particular request, you can see the closer look of the run-in and the Scout's Donut sign. But again, this is for the Scout's Donut sign at 120 East Earl Street because the other one was previously approved in February. Any questions for the staff?
Any questions or comments? The color? The lighting?
So the lighting is the only addition to the bracket, is that right? Or it's a new bracket with lighting?
That bracket exists.
Okay.
It was just included in their sign packet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, yes, sir.
No, I think it looks great.
Yeah, the sign fits in very well. Do we have a motion to approve or just motion from Mary Lou and a second from Amanda? Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Next item.
Thank you. Next one is BAR 2328. It's 404A South Main Street. It's also in the Downtown Historic District, and it is located in the old BART location. If you're familiar with that, right across from City Hall, you can see on the map on the next slide. If we can move forward on that, please. A couple. That's fine. Yeah, we just stay with that slide right there. I'll keep it on there for a moment. But this is the existing building that we're talking about. And the applicant is planning to change the aesthetics of the building by painting the lower portion of the facade a deep green, specifically a Benjamin Moore color Essex green. And we'll show you that a little closer in a moment. The facade renovation incorporates gold lettering, design elements, and the combination of the deep green paint and the gold details. It's intended to create visual interest and respect the architectural integrity of the building while providing an updated and attractive appearance. And also, along with the paint, An awning is proposed, and also lanterns to go along with signage that's proposed for the property as well. So we scroll down to 2 more slides, we can get to the specifics of this. Thank you. Exactly, that's where it goes. The request again is to paint the bottom portion of the building just above the Finch and Fern. You can see the line going across there. Below that will be the paint color. Everything else will remain the same. You can see the signage. The Finch and Fern signage is going to be applied acrylic lettering, painted gold foil. The smaller signage will be gold vinyl lettering. And then again, the remaining of the building from just below the windows down will be the color scheme of the, I already forgot what it was, Essex green, sorry about that. Also, you see lanterns on either side of the signs, on the left side of the word design, on the right side of the word coffee. And also, there's an awning being proposed. And you can see there are 3 awning options in this packet, in this request. So the applicant is here, so we can have that discussion with her tonight regarding what is suitable for her and for everybody's needs tonight. But when looking at this type of request with paint, signage, lantern, and awning, you look at chapters 8, 9, and 10 of the design guidelines, and they state to design a sign to be in balance with the overall character of the property. And also appropriate signs include freestanding, flush-mounted, window, projecting, hanging, awning, and directory signs. And a sign should be in character with the material, color, and detail of the building. And also an awning or canopy should be similar to those seen historically. So that's what's coming before you tonight. The staff recommends approval of this request. And again, the applicant is here if you have any questions for her, particularly regarding the awning options that you see before you tonight.
Yeah. The color on the front of the building, I think looks very good. The gold, it's vinyl painted gold, so it should last, hopefully. Before we get to the awning, are there any comments or questions on the paint and
I
color?
have a question. In that picture you showed of the building, existing building, looks like that window's painted. Will that be removed? The big glass there?
Sorry, the window's right above the awning?
No, the window, the big picture window, looks like it's painted green or something.
The street view, if we go up 2 slides to the street view picture.
Mhm.
I think it's just a shading device.
Shading,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay,
Good.
yes.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna remove the paint from that glass.
That's not glass.
It's not glass, I thought it was
It's not, it's wood,
brick, okay.
and it's not gonna be replaced with glass.
And it's to be painted the same color as the green with the rest of the building.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions, comments on that?
And so the top of the building, if we can go back to that,
Oh.
what we were just looking,
Yeah.
it will remain as it is right now, white, and the windows look like, are they painted? Or,
Are the windows what, ma'am?
or are they bronze windows, or?
Are they painted windows on the 2nd story?
Well, the wood frame
They're
painted,
They're new.
they're new.
I don't remember what they are, to be honest with you. Maybe they're bronze aluminum.
But those will stay as is as
Oh,
well?
yes.
Okay.
And that, I was just, if that's the color they're gonna be, I was just thinking of that in selecting the
Mhm.
awning and everything.
Yeah. Any other comments on the paint and the lettering? Okay. Let's talk about the awning. You've given us 3 options. What are your thoughts?
Well, no, I wasn't. I mean, I put the 3 when I submitted it, because I needed to get it in. But since then, I've talked to Mr. Charles, and we decided that the middle option is best for appropriateness of the look that I'm going for and durability. I have them here.
So you like the middle option?
Yes.
Comments, questions?
I'm good with any of those. I think it's a great look. It's a traditional look. I would be good with any of those 3 options.
Yeah, the darker color on the awning should look good because it won't get, you won't notice any kind of mildew on it.
I agree, the two darker ones, I think the lighter one, particularly with the top portion remaining white, and this is beige, you know, it's gonna be like green, white, beige, you know. So that's the only one I would think we might want to eliminate, would be the top one.
Well, those are the middle one is the only one that matches the green, right? When you're doing things without samples, you're looking at, you know, you're looking at a computer screen, so it's not, you know, till I win, and we're looking at the samples.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
true.
greens are very different in person than what you see on the screen.
Any more comments on which one?
So your choice is the middle one?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And that looks like it has like a brown to it, like would match, like it looks bronzy. Doesn't it
I
almost
mean,
look,
do you want this? I brought this.
doesn't it?
Maybe
If you have a sample, that would be good.
Yeah.
Great.
Looks like navy or black.
Maybe it's the screen, but it looks black.
She's got a
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Right there.
Yes,
I don't
because
know.
I was thinking it would
And
match.
green and green. What's this?
That's just a sample.
It's that one right there.
It's not gonna
Oh,
be.
So it's,
okay.
it's
No, no.
more or less
More or less different
Something
shades
black.
of
the
green.
photo, yeah.
black.
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 Here, it might look better here.
I saw it, it's green.
And is,
Mhm.
you don't like
I
that.
don't know why that looks,
Is the other one in there also?
I don't think so. Really?
Because it looks like it's two colors.
It
Looks great.
does.
Scouts down. Oh no, it's not for this, it's in products. Pension fund.
Doesn't look like it's in there.
Oh, I don't know.
She's just not sure if the other
Even
ones are
pairs?
located in that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Probably very so.
I went there last year, green.
Now, to
So-
me, that one looks like it has burgundy in it.
It looks like
See, there.
it almost has red.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
can you blow up the bottom one on your screen?
You would like to see what, sir?
Can you blow up that bottom one? Yeah,
Oh, the
Yeah.
awning?
yeah. That's better.
Yeah.
We were just trying to see if it's black,
We don't worry about
bronze, or it looks like it has a red stripe
Yeah,
in the middle.
that's about right.
Mhm.
It's a great place.
I think the only one that's a viable option is the middle one, talking to Charles. I can't remember if they're not available on back order. I mean,
So,
again, I was just putting what I thought would work to get it in. And since that I went to see Mr. Charles, you know, I mean, we're using some backstock that he has from like, I think the 70s
mhm.
to help, you know, put a border on it.
So let's look at this as, okay, you're requesting the center one.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to decide if we're gonna approve the changes to the front of the front, the building, the paint, and then the center color for the awning. Any other comments or questions? Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the paint and lettering as submitted and the middle selection of the awning, the Marco Olive.
We have a second? Second from Amanda. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried unanimously. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, on to the addenda portion of the agenda. It's BAR 2432, pertains to 240 East Whitner Street, and everything's affectionately known by something else. This is known as the old Dawson Radiator Shop, which you're familiar with. So that's the location map you see before you. Scroll to the front of the building as we introduce this subject. But this did come before you about 2 years ago for approval for several renovations, and the request tonight is for exterior paint. But during 2022, Details regarding exterior paint were not discussed except on one side of the building, and I'll get into that in a moment. But in 2022, the applicant received approval for removal and installation of new storefront doors and windows, the removal and installation of new overhead doors, the removal and installation of new roofing system. So in your package, you see the old staff report just for a point of reference. I'd like to scroll to the side of the building located here, the one that's more white in color. At that meeting in 2022, again, the discussion was not to paint the entire building, but there was discussion during the meeting to repaint the wall that faces westward, which you see in this photograph. And there was approval to paint it white like it is now. But that was the only discussion we had at that meeting, and again, they received approval for several other items. But what's coming before you tonight is a request to paint the entire building Chantilly lace. Benjamin Moore, which you're mostly familiar with, is a bright white color. And when reviewing this type of application, you should focus on Chapter 10 of our design guidelines, which says that brick and masonry colors are common in the downtown. Muted and compatible tones should characterize a building, and also to avoid high-intensity colors. And as we had this conversation with the applicant, we started looking closer at our design guidelines, and we see repeated elements in there regarding brick and stone and traditional materials and matte or non-reflective materials. And the guidelines do state that, the guidelines don't specify which colors you should select, but rather how they should be used. And it goes on saying that bright colors are to be used for accent colors only, and it also talks about looking at surrounding buildings. Now, around this block, there are mostly brick buildings. There is evidence of white buildings in the area as well. So keep that in mind as well. But tonight, what's coming before you is the Chantilly lace color. And the chapter goes on to say that tones should be more muted and should be used, and bright color should be avoided. So those are the things that we noticed in the design guidelines. So from a staff standpoint, we encourage the applicant to allow the building to remain unpainted or to paint it in a more muted color for the body of the building. But again, it's coming to you tonight with the Chantilly lace. The applicant's here, so we can enter into a discussion regarding their justification for wanting to paint it the Chantilly lace color.
Can you go back one slide? How far does this actual building go? All the way to the, is it the Bleckley Inn there?
It goes back, but
That's St. Mary's.
That's the Wilmer.
St. Mary's, okay.
Yeah.
That's all that one building?
Yeah.
yeah, but the building part in the back is not. Is this to be painted as well white? This back portion? Okay, everything, including the first story piece in the back.
Just looks like that's a lot of white paint.
And here's the front.
What's your thoughts on
If you don't
that?
mind scrolling through the photos, just so they can see.
Was there something you read, Maurice? I don't have the copy in front of me, but about differentiating between adjacent properties?
It states, and again, I don't have the guidelines with me either, Billy, but it does say in there that it's important that to note within a block in the intersection area, there are many brick buildings painted white, and there are no street trees or other buildings immediately adjacent to soften the image. So it implies in there that you should look at the surrounding buildings, and that should be taken into consideration when you approve colors.
Mm-hmm.
The McCoy Wright building is right.
It's white.
Yeah, it's a
And
block,
that's white as
it's a
white
block
as
westward, yes.
They stole the white from the whole block, I
Yes.
think.
Which is two buildings now. I mean, they put
Mhm.
them together.
Yeah.
The, what we're looking at right now, when we approved it 2 years ago, what we're looking at now, when we approved it 2 years ago, I'm trying to remember, and what you just said, we were going to leave the Dawson radiator
Mm-hmm.
sign,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause we
right,
felt
the
that was-
western side, that, because we reviewed the film as well, we had to go back and look at what the discussion was, and if you look at the slide, let's see if you can move forward 2 more right here. The discussion was to allow that wall to be painted white, but to retain the Dawson Radiator Service logos, and their intent is to still do that, I believe.
Correct.
They still wish to retain those 2 logos.
Well, the 3 logos, the 2 Dawson, the small Dawson logos, and then the large Dawson Radiator Service.
Sure.
at the top.
Gotcha.
You're gonna preserve both of those,
Yes.
and they're painted right on the brick?
Signage barring the really faded Coca-Cola sign.
Yeah.
That you can see below the red Dawson. But anything that stated Dawson Radiator Service, we're gonna, seal, tape over, and then paint.
Mhm. Would you consider like a very light gray instead of all white?
Again, I'm just here representing the owners.
Mhm.
The only reason why they wanted to stick with the Chantilly lace was because we already had the approval to paint the largest wall of that building white and to carry the same look around the entire building instead of having one wall white, something unfinished brick, and then they're just wanting to kind of make it uniform. I can go back to the owners and ask about differentiating colors, but they're really adamant about the Chantilly lace.
Okay. Since this was an addendum, board members did not get a chance to drive past the building and look it over
Okay.
to refresh their memories on it.
Would it help if I asked the owners if we were to paint the smaller building behind the radiator shop a different color to kind of cut down on so much of the white?
What's your thoughts on it?
Can we even see can we see the picture again from
Yeah.
the side?
If you look at this image here, it's,
This side here.
Yeah.
so basically where it drops down from 2 stories to 1 story.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 ladies that went in together and bought the building, one lady owns the building in the rear and the other one owns the 2-story building. At one point, they were the same building, they were a grocery store
Yeah.
originally.
I don't know the number.
Maurice, is there not something in the guidelines about unpainted brick, keeping the brick?
It states, again, this is some paraphrasing going on in there, but it says that the preference is repeated for traditional materials, brick and stone, and also matte or non-reflective finishes.
Yeah. The 1-story building, the brick's in pretty bad shape, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
The 2-story doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it's like red.
We actually had to take the southeast corner of the single-story building completely out because it was fixing to collapse onto the sidewalk.
Oh, wow.
Maurice, go back to the front of the building, right here. That brick on the 2nd story looks pretty good. And there was an accent belt line. What's your thoughts on preserving that brick and doing the rest of the building white?
I kind of like the little differentiation like they had between like the red stripe and the black on the bottom. It's kind of got a little bit of character rather than just doing everything white on the
And
bottom.
the owners they're on board with keeping the red and black stripe across the front.
Oh,
You keeping the red brick?
Well, they were asking to paint the entire storefront white, but they were going to retain the black and red detail stripe that went across the front.
Well, the white would help tie in with the white on the side of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And the brick would help tie in with the brick on the other side of the building.
Yeah. So,
Because you really don't see them at the same time anyway.
no, so if you did the 2 sides of the building
it's just cinder,
white
cinder block?
and the
No.
first floor,
That's what I'm saying, Bill.
first level white, and maintain the bricks on the upper level on that one face, would that be an option for you?
That's definitely something I could propose to the owners.
I'm
What do
thinking
you guys think?
Keep that brick. And the side
And the
brick.
side, yes.
And just have one side.
I don't know
white.
how I feel about painting just a few facades and not, just one side and half of another side and kind of
Yeah.
piecing together paint jobs. I'm okay with it being painted since I guess half of the building's already been painted in the past. And those buildings on the side, the one-story buildings, look to be in such disrepair.
Oh, those need to be.
I think painting those would certainly
Definitely.
improve the look of those. And I like the idea of differentiating colors. If you're looking at this as 3 different buildings,
Well, it'd just be 2 different buildings.
It's
really.
two.
is there a line or some kind of separator
there's-
between those two?
There's a mortar line separating the,
Yeah.
you can kind of see the difference in color. The more redder brick
Mm-hmm.
is kind of where that single story stops. And then, you see the door with the transom light, to the right. That's kind of where the 2-story building starts.
Mm-hmm.
What if you painted the part that really, really needs painting white and then just left the brick?
Leave the brick.
That would give you a little variation.
Okay. Should we table this and give everybody a chance to go by and really look at this building? And you can talk to the owner and see if they're up for any kind of color change or preserving the brick on the front of the building?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were more worried about making it look uniform and complete, and so.
And that may be what the board wants.
Yeah.
They need to go by and look at the building to refresh our memories. It's been over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their plan was to keep the black base, the stripe along the back.
Yeah, the black and red stripe.
Along the
across
bottom.
front. Yeah,
Mhm.
retain it, give the front a new white facelift
Down
like it
here.
was, at least on the lower half section that was approved, and then continue that white across the rest of the front of the building, and then the
But not on the side.
remaining left side of the building, since the whole right side was already painted white.
So it's blue in the picture, but this is yours
Yeah,
is
it's just a
black,
photo,
mine
yeah.
is blue.
It's just the screen.
So,
yeah.
yeah, the base of the building.
That's why we need to go look at it,
Yes.
because even our monitors are
Yeah,
showing
that was
different
That was
colors.
blue. That's a different color. Yeah.
And another reason why they kind of wanted to paint, especially on that back area, was there was so much retoothing of brick, because these buildings were, if we hadn't put a roof on them, they'd have been in rubble by now. But there's a lot of brick infill, and, I mean, we try to use as close to period brick as we could,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still see where we toothed newer age brick into the older brick. So just trying to kind of mask those Band-Aids.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to do it. And Reese, I think the biggest issue is not really with painting. I think if we had the right colors submitted in the right locations, we would probably be okay with painting the entire building.
So
If it were, I think we're just afraid of another stark, giant white building on that block.
Okay. I have a secondary color that the owners were somewhat okay with, maybe if we had to split the buildings up in different colors. I'll just spread these out evenly that way.
Is it the same color?
Yeah.
Porpoise?
Just need to go look at it.
We do need to go.
In my question on the front,
Right.
if it's painted white, okay, the windows are black, and mine are blue, so. And then there's concrete block that looks new around the doors, and that would be white. And the windows would be white, and the yellow part would be black. And around the windows, the doors.
Right, the roll-up doors. Yeah, is that wood? Looks like
Yeah,
wood.
it's since been cased in PVC trim
Mhm.
in white. And so originally where the 2 storefront glass doors are, those were man doors that were there originally, and they had wood frames painted white, so to put the storefront glass doors in, we had to demo that and create the new openings, so that's why it's varying color, but it was to be painted white.
So, I want to be clear on what would be white and what would be black.
Yeah, on the front of the building, yeah.
So
What would-
the bottom,
This one, this one.
3.5, 4 feet would remain black,
Okay,
all the way around the building, and then, I mean, pretty much where you see, if you go to the side of the picture that shows the right side of the building,
the side of the Dawson radiator signs.
yeah, how it has that black water table all the way around it,
Mhm.
we would carry that around the entire building.
The entire building.
For uniformity
And the red, everything, black and red?
And,
Yeah.
and then when I'm saying red, is really exposed original brick, right?
No, it's painted red,
It's just painted red.
yeah.
Okay.
Would that red also go all the way around the building?
Yes, that would remain uniform all the way around the building.
Okay.
That's like icy.
Okay, and then back to the front. So, the doors, the
The roll-up doors?
garage doors or whatever they are,
Yeah, the roll-up doors, they're black. Right.
They are an old rub,
Old rub
like a
bronze.
yeah,
Bronze.
kind of like the storefront glass.
Mm-hmm. Them was these.
and
These
the
ones.
doors, are-
Okay,
they're the bronze too.
so all this would be bronze. These are bronze. And what are they, 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 light windows above the roll-up doors. Those mullions will be painted white?
Above the roll doors.
Yes. They're
Yes,
white
well,
now.
They're encased in white trim now, PVC trim,
Mhm.
but it was to be painted white. Now, if you want a little bit of variation in color, if you can go to the picture that shows the left side of the building. And, well, I don't know if can you zoom in above the dumpster?
To the right
Scroll
side?
over to the front of the building. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but that window above the Dawson radiator sign has the original green color.
The
I
little
could possibly
square
go to
one.
the owners and see if they want to carry that
Right there.
same green color
Okay, I
across
see
the
it
front
now.
on those windows
Right.
to kind of break up the white. I mean, I don't know how the black and red and white and green and
No.
Mhm.
And it was just hard to tell from our picture without seeing it in person.
if you walk, I mean, when y'all walk down to see it, you can see that's the only window that has the green color on it.
No, I like, to me, all the ones with the mullions being white.
Oh, yes, yes.
you know.
Yes.
And the fact that there is black on the bottom and then also separating on the front, the top, right?
Yes,
If they painted the brick white. I mean, it's not just a white building.
Yes, yes. Okay. So do we want to recommend approval with some modifications to it, or do you want to table it till next month's meeting?
I think we need to table it so we can go look at it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so you're making a motion to table it till next month. We have a second? From Mary Lou. Any further discussion? All those in favor of tabling it till next month? Opposed? Okay, it'll be carried unanimously to table it till next month's meeting. We'll all have a chance to go by and look at the building very closely. Thank you for your help in trying to get us on the right page with the colors.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That concludes the business part of the meeting.
Do I need to be involved in that walkthrough, or?
No, not really. Okay, any business from the board that you all want to discuss?
In the big building, there's a
Staff report, anything from staff?
That is it from the staff tonight. Thank you very much for attending the meeting tonight.
back building you could actually.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I was gonna ask a question.
Sure.
The windows on the side that are missing,
Missing.
and the ones on the buildings that are in really bad shape. I didn't know if the owner would want to bring that next month as well, instead of having to come back before us another month when they. I was just throwing that out
I'm
there.
sorry, we were having a conversation, I didn't hear the first part of that.
The windows that are missing on that one side of the building, it has the Glen truck on the side that's showing right now,
Yes.
those gonna be replaced with,
So
the bronze?
This is a very old
Yeah.
picture. Every window across that side has been updated
Okay.
to a storefront glass, anodized bronze look. Along with the windows, and well, the door also on the lower building.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to.
Motion
adjourn.
from Gia to adjourn. Second? From Jill. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you.